Hello, John here again, and this is episode 25 of Tutorial 35, which is the Lunar or Neptune Lander game development. And this is a continuation of the previous video where we was adding the scoring system into the Neptune Lander. So we'd got, by the end of the video, it was 40 minutes long or something, we'd got to the point where we had put the score onto the screen. So in this episode we're going to try and work out which landing pad we're in, and then drain the fuel meter dry, multiplying the fuel meter by the multiplier, and then adding it to the scoring system. So this is, yeah, not thought about this. This is on the fly. Yeah, another hour video, here we come. Anyway, let's try as best. So we left off with where we just literally, if I F5 this, where we just literally just got the 6 digits on the bottom of the screen. Yeah. I still think that music's brilliant. Anyway, so what we need to do is we need to now work out which landing pad we're hitting, and then work out the routine that does the successful landing. And yeah. So first things first, we need to figure out which landing pad we've landed on. So, trying to remember where that is. I'm wondering if it's in here. Nope. So it must be in the game flow. I'll put money on it's in the game flow. Here we go. So this is where we can check our landing, and what we can do is check that we've landed safely. Yeah, we could put it in there. So, check that we've landed safely. Is that in here? Setup. Read input. Did we collide? So that's definitely in the flow, isn't it? Check that we landed safely. So that must be in the flying part, the live part. Status flying. Did we land safely? Here we go. So branch if carry clear. If we didn't, so we're setting the carry out. Are we setting the carry out of that routine? I can't remember. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Liblunar. Yeah. So we're setting the carry. So what we need to do is basically, yeah, okay, so let's put a comment in here because it's going to be important. Output, and we're going to say xreg equals landing zone. So we're going to load the X register with a landing zone. So here, LDX hash, and this is landing zone 303. So this one must be landing zone 2. And this must be landing zone 1. So let's just make sure X is not being used in this test. No, it's not. Right, so what we can do is we can initialize X here. We can initialize X to be 0, LDX hash $0. So we're initializing it to be 0, so no pad, and then we'll work out which pad it is. So when we're in the landing, we can then, so it goes to the status. So we need a variable to say pad land, yeah, where we store the pad number. Have we got one? Nope. So landing pad number byte 0. So we store 0 there. Okay, so in the flow we take X and store it in landing pad number. So store it in landing pad number so we know which number is the pad that we've successfully got to, and then we set the status to landed. So now in landed, I think we're just jumping to landed, aren't we? Yeah, there we go. So this is where we're going to try and bleed the fuel tank dry and update the score. Right. So first things first, what do we need to do? Have we got any spare parameters? Yes. We'll use that one. So we're going to load memory. Right, memory. What am I after? After the multiplier. Here we go. I'm after the multiplier. So we're going to load the multiplier and store it in this temporary variable. Okay, so the problem is we've got to load X with the landing pad number. But we have a problem. Well, we're in sequence. No, we're all right. But we need to DX because the X will have one more than it should be. So it's landing pad 1. So when we do the array, that's going to be element 0. So we need to DX it. And then we load the multiplier. Comma X. That will give us our multiplier. So that's the number we're going to apply to the score for every one incident in the fuel. Yep, that sounds about right. So we're doing the manoeuvring, we're flying. Have we collided? No. Right, so we're alright. So let's go back to the lander, because that does all the updates, doesn't it? Update sprite position. So that's game lander. So where do we do the fuel? Here we are. Add fuel consumption. GM. Add fuel consumption. Here we go. So we're adding to the fuel consumption, and I think we're testing for maximum fuel, aren't we? Let's have a look. Fuel, there are fuel tank size. So we're comparing it with fuel tank size. So where's fuel tank size stored? There we go, fuel tank size. So we want to take fuel tank size and we're going to add, we're going to do this add fuel consumption. Yeah, that's about right. So when we do the fuel tank, when we've run out of fuel, here we go. Fuel bar value, fuel bar compute with fuel bar tank. So it's fuel bar value. So it's going up. The fuel bar value will be going up. And it goes up by the increment in game. So it's going up by that. Right. Yeah, that's fine. We can use that. We can definitely use that. It might be a bit quick though, but we'll try it. We'll try it. We might have to slow it down so you can see it doing it, but we can definitely try it. We can definitely try it. So what I'm thinking of, right, is in here, once we've got it, we need to drain or fill up the, because we fill up the tank, which effectively drains it, yeah. And what we need to do is we need to run through it until it hits the value. So at fuel score loop. So we'll apply that, add fuel consumption. And then we'll do the test, which I think is still in Game Lander, I think. Yeah, it's here. So then we're testing it. And what we're saying is then branch of carry clear, which means it's less than. But if we want, no, it's going to have to be set, carry set, because we want it to jump out. So tank empty. And if it's not empty, we need to get it to apply the multiplier to the score. So we need to do this, add score. So we need to do that. So effectively we need to do that, and then it's dollars, it's that, comma, I think it's scoreboard, isn't it? So we're adding it to that. Then the next thing is we need to update the bars. Now I think I've got a routine that does that. Here we are, this one here. So we want to see the bar go down while we're draining it. So we'll update the bar, which will have the new value on it then. And so we'll put tank empty here. Ooh. Which we're just going to go jump back to at tank empty. So we're just going to stop it here. I don't want it to carry on because we haven't figured out what we're going to do. I just want it to update the score. So it updates the score, updates the bars, and then I want it to do the update the scoreboard. Update the scoreboard. I want it to draw out game memory setup. That's that one here. So that's going to show what's on the screen. So we update the bars and then we update the score. And that's going to show it doing it. Now, I don't really want it to. I don't want it to just do it there. I want it to run through all the game code. So it comes through. We know we've landed. It loads it in, it updates the fuel, tests it. If it's empty, it jumps back out. So we'll see if we can get it to RTS it and see if the game loop still works. But if it is, it updates the scoreboard until it's empty. Yeah, and we don't do anything else. We could make it go to status dead just to get it to restart it. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get it to do that. So here it will go RTS, so it'll come back out, and here we'll just set it to status dead, and it'll go to our dead routine temporarily, so we can use the fire key. God, dear. There's a lot of thinking. Right, let's see if we can get this to do it. Let's see if it'll work. It's probably not going to work first time, but it's worth a crack. Here we go. Well, we're on a winner. It compiled. Right, so we're going to go for the third landing pad. Slow it down. Oh, look at that! But the lander's still going, so we've got to stop all the velocities of the lander. Cool, that is taking that's taking some emptying, isn't it? Yeah. We may. Yeah, that's taking some emptying, that is. Well, the principle's there. So, we've got a few things to do. That when it's successfully landed, we need to kill. When it's successfully landed, we need to kill all the directions. We need to reset all the directions. So that's going to be here. Yeah. So that's here. So we're going to kill all the directions. So it stops the lander from progressing, because we're still getting it going through the game loop. But we want to, right, you've landed, you stopped. There's no movement. But then, when we're adding the fuel consumption, we don't really. It was taking too long because we've got fractions. So what we need to do is we'll just increase the size of the fuel value. Yeah. So we'll rem that out. We'll INC fuel value. Bar value. Load it in, test it. Alright, let's try that again. So it wasn't a bad first attempt. Let's get it over there. There we go. And that's what we're talking about. Oh, why is it still going? Right, come on. Down you go. Yep. And then it starts up again. So I must not be clearing everything out. So let's go back to the flow. So what am I not clearing out? Vertical velocity high, vertical velocity. Is there any other vertical velocities? I've forgotten. Yeah. There's no others. Oh, hang on. Right, we do that, return that. We do the score, and it does it. GF game dead, update the status value. So why is it... So why is it coming back through if I've told it it's dead? I must not be clearing out one of the... But it's the vertical one. It's not inertia, it's the velocity. So why would the velocity be still going? Oh, we're running round it, aren't we? But it's supposed to be dead. It's supposed to be set to dead, so it should be stopped. It should be stopped, and I think it is, because it's running through the. But it should be waiting. Let's just check that that's right. Oops, need to be on the right one. Let's see if I can get it to land on that one. Yeah, it does it. And then it... Well, that should be set to dead. That should not... Why is that updating? That means I am not clearing out a value. I am not clearing out a value, so what would it be? It's here. GL. No, it's not there. Here. Read, import and update variables in GL Game Lander. Right, so here we need to test the status. Yeah, we need to test the status because this is applying gravity to the vertical velocity, and that's why it's going back. It's going down again. So we need to test for the dead. LDX and game status. CPX with dead. Branch if equal to gravity bypass. Right, let's see if that does it. F5. Do the easy one first. That's better. Now there's a gap, it's because I thrusted up just before I hit it. Let's do it again. Make it land without any issues. There we go. Foot goes down. 176. Right, let's see if the multiplier is working. Let's see if we can do this one. So we should have a lot more because we were multiplying. Yeah, look at that one. And I'm not sure if I'll get... Ooh, wrong way. Oh. God, that is going to be hard to get in there. Go on. Oh, that's hard. That is hard. That is hard, that one. Right. So, we have... Let me turn the music off. Hang on. So now we've got a scoring system that shows the score when you've landed, and it looks like the multiplier is working as well. What we need to do now is, when you've done it, when you rerun it, the score stays there and it adds to the score until you run out of fuel, and then when you've run out of fuel, that's it. End of story. Done. Dusted. You're not allowed another go. So that looks like it may be the next video, but then again, we haven't implemented the speed test yet. Yeah, I'll have a think about that at the moment. I'll have a think about that. So that's the start of applying our scoring system into this game, and that's the sort of methodology we're going to be using for the scoring system, is using what's left in the tank. So the least fuel you use, the more points you get. The more fuel you use, the least points you get. That sort of thing. Right, so yeah, we've got a lot to do on this scoring system. I'm also thinking about having different types of lander craft, because we can have we could take the lander craft that came out of the Melbourne House book, which is what this game's based on, as well. And there's also some lander craft that I spotted in a PDF on the archiver. So maybe we could, when we do the hard, medium, hard, normal and easy levels, maybe we could have a different lander craft as well. So the easy level for landers would be a nice slimline lander that could get into the tight gaps, but make it harder means we've got a bigger lander to get through the gap, which can make it more difficult, as you've just seen. That first landing pad, I think it's almost impossible to get to with the current lander that we've got. Right then, so we're 35 minutes into this. I think we'll call it there. I think we've successfully implemented the scoring. Admittedly, it doesn't remember. Yes, we're going to need to sort that out. But I think that we should call it on this particular episode and move on to the next one and take it from there. So, if you like this video, please click that like button. If you didn't like the video, fine, hit that dislike button. Always leave me a comment, because I try to answer all of them. And if you like the sort of thing that I'm doing at the moment and you would like to support me, please consider becoming a patron of mine. All the money that's generated by the Patreon account goes back into the channel. And with that, I will say, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. I'd like to thank all the patrons that are contributing to my channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much.